Hey, this is Master Williams, and in this video, we're going to take a look at the Kids Basic class, our Orange Stripe 2, and in this particular video, we're going to work on the techniques required for that stripe. So first thing that we want to do is we're going to go to our tension stance. We're going to step to our fighting stance. We're going to move our right leg over and then back into our stance. And from here, we want to put our guards up in this position here. In this particular technique, we're going to be working on a little footwork and some defense. So we're going to start off by having our guards up, and we want to learn how to move forward and how to move back, right? It's important that we can step slide to be able to control the distance with an opponent. So when I step slide forward, we call that 1. If I step slide backwards, we call that 2. So if the guards are up, if I'm doing 1, my front foot will take a step and make my stance a little wider, and my back foot will follow up behind me and fix that stance. So on the count of 1, we step forward. Ready? 1, 1. On the count of 2, we're going to step backwards. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to move my back leg back. My front leg will follow. So 2, 2, 2. Okay. Looking at it from the side point of view, you can see that I have my stance, I have my balance, and you can see my back foot is not quite flat on the floor. My balance is on the balls of my feet, so I'm ready to move. And as I step forward, it's 1, 1, 1. And then 2, I'm going to go backwards this way, right? Ready? 2, 2, 2. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2. Being able to move our footwork appropriately. Now, a couple of tips on moving with your footwork. What we don't want to do is I don't want to bring my feet together and then step back out, because at some point my feet are together and I don't have the balance that I need or the stability to protect myself. So I want to make sure that I have a strong base and I can move appropriately. The other thing that I want to look at is I want to push, don't pull, right? So we actually have everyone say that, push, don't pull. What that means is that I don't want to take a step with my front leg and then pull my back leg up. What that actually does is it makes your step a little slower, not quite the proper balance. So you have to kind of imagine that you're stepping over something, right? I'm like doing maybe a little hop over a puddle or something, so my front foot's going to go. I'm going to push off with my back leg as my front foot lifts up. So I push, and my foot follows behind me quickly, right? So I'm going to take that step. Boom, boom. Same thing when I'm going backwards. I'm going to push off with my front leg, make the back leg step, right? So bang, 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 bang. So I want to work on pushing off of the leg that I need to move with in order to increase the speed of my movement, all right? So the next thing that we also want to practice, and we'll do this typically with a partner, is working on moving back and forth, as well as blocking a kicking technique and then countering. So I want to show you how to do the block and the counter. So if I am in my fighting stance and a kick is coming in at me, I want to take my front hand, and what we're going to do is we're going to move that front hand across our body, and we're going to move the leg, hitting with the palm part of our hand like this. So I can move the leg across, right? So my low block looks like this. We want to do a couple of those. So ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Now the second thing, the reason that we're opening our hands, the second aspect of this technique is that I actually want to be able to cut my fingers underneath and catch that leg. So if I block, I'm going to catch the leg, right? So 1, 2, 3, right? Our focus is hit the leg and then just cup it, and you'll end up catching that foot to be able to catch it on a front kick or a side kick. In this aspect, really working on the front kick. After we catch, we're going to take our back hand and we're going to throw our cross punch, right? So if you're watching me from the front, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, right? From the side, block, punch, going to my twist stance, turning my body for that punch, so block, punch. And you can imagine if I'm holding onto a leg, my hand may stay down, or if we're practicing without a partner, block and then punch and get used to bringing your guards up. Either is fine for this particular technique, block, punch. All right? So now we're going to take a look at it with a partner. So now we're going to take a look at the orange stripe requirements with a partner, right? So if we're doing this in our Kids Basic class, the techniques that we're actually going to do if we have a partner with us. So the first one that we're going to do, actually, I apologize, Mr. Filippo's here helping me out. So the first one we're going to do is the 1-2 drill with a partner, right? So he's going to help me out with this, and I'll show you how to use your footwork and practice with an actual opponent. So we're going to go here. First thing we'll do is go to attention. We'll bow, right? And then what we're going to do is go to our fighting stance. So we're in our fighting stance here. We need to know how close we're going to be. So we're both going to stick a jab hand out and touch. If I'm too far away, it's no good. And if I'm too close, then it's no good. So we want to be right at the distance of that. So then we have our guards up, okay? So as we practice, we're going to do 1 and 2 and just step slide, trying to maintain that distance, right? So if I step this way, ready, 1. He's going to step backwards, right? 2. And I can work on this as we go. So 1, 2, right? And then you might pick a leader and just have somebody move without even doing the count, right? Right? And then you should work it a little bit. So that's our 1-2 drill. But the other aspect of our training is to actually use the low block, right? We're practicing our low block and then doing a counter. We talked about doing a low block and then throwing a reverse punch or cross to be able to do this, right? So if I were to throw a kick, Mr. Filippo's going to do a low block, and then he can throw a punch with that other hand, and there's his counter. And what you want to look at is when he's doing this low block, he's using his hand to cup, just what we talked about earlier, right? So he's cupping under my foot, so you can see that. Then he can throw his punch and get his counter there, right? So for practice, we'll just go back and forth. So he'll kick, I'll block and punch, and then I'll kick, block, punch. And it doesn't matter which leg. If I were to use the front leg, it's the same block and counter, right? If he uses his front leg, same block and counter, right? So you just always want to use your front hand when you're doing your block and throwing your counter. So that's the part of the work for the orange stripe.